Welcome to a new deep dive. Today we're tackling a really fascinating intersection of technology, travel, and trust in an industry you might not expect.
That's right.
Our sources are from Fly Me to You, Automated Travel and Trust, specifically some podcast material by MyBookXXX, the platform from MyBooks Media BV. And our mission today, we want to unpack how this platform built a really unique system. Trying to make cross-border bookings, safer, smoother, easier.
Yeah.
We'll focus particularly on how automated travel tackles challenges like privacy and security. And honestly, you're going to hear some surprising stuff about how intricate these systems get.
Yeah, what's really interesting here, I think, is how the insights from these sources show a very thoughtful approach. To problems that often just get overlooked, right? It really demonstrates how technology, when it's designed well, can be a powerful tool, for building trust and safety in pretty sensitive areas. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's do that. So first things first, what exactly is Fly Me to You, or FMTY as they call it? What's the basic idea?
Right. So at its core, FMTY is about a scenario where a client, maybe in one city or country, wants to invite a courtesan who's based somewhere else, another city, another country. And traditionally, setting up these kinds of cross-border meetings was frankly incredibly complicated and risky.
Right, I can imagine. And this is where it gets really interesting, doesn't it? Just think about the problems involved. Like, who books the flight? How do you protect privacy? Stop names getting out there.
Yeah.
And what about the money side? Payment certainty, especially if a client, say, cancels last minute.
Exactly. These are huge issues. So the MyBookXXX platform, they developed this automated solution. It uses APIs, basically software talking to software, to handle ticket booking specifically for these situations.
Okay, API-driven booking, so it takes the hassle out. How does it simplify things?
Immensely. So the courtesan just sets her nearest home airport once in her profile. That's it. Then the system sees the meeting location the client wants, figures out the destination airport automatically. And the client, they pay the deposit and the flight ticket together. It's designed as one single checkout flow. Streamlined. Everything else, all the booking mechanics, happens behind the scenes.
Okay, so that's the concept. Automated, streamlined booking for these cross-border meetings. Now let's dig into the mechanics. How does this system actually work step by step to protect people and cut down the stress?
Okay, so it starts with the courtesan, or maybe their agency, setting that home airport in the profile. That's step one. Then, when a client starts an FMTY booking, the MyBookXXX system looks at the meeting address and finds the closest commercial airport. So now you have the full route, point A to point B.
And the crucial part for privacy. You mentioned MyBooks Media BV, the company, actually books the flight.
Yes, exactly. They book it on behalf of the courtesan. The courtesan is officially the traveler, and importantly, her identity is already ID verified by the platform.
Okay, hold on. That's the key detail, isn't it? If MyBooks Media books it, using the verified ID, how does that keep the courtesan's name private from the client? Airlines need real names.
That's the clever part. The client never sees the courtesan's real name. Anywhere on the platform during booking, it's only her stage name.
I see.
But because MyBooks Media BV, the company, is the one making the booking with the airline, they provide the verified legal identity needed for the ticket. So it satisfies the airline's rules, ensures compliance, but maintains crucial privacy for the courtesan from the client's view.
Okay, that makes sense. Kind of firewall. Now let's talk money. Payment flows, especially across borders, can be a real headache.
Yeah.
How does MyBookXXX handle the payment for these FMTY bookings? How do they make sure both sides feel secure?
Right. Payments are critical. The system integrates the flight payment right into the normal booking process. So first, the client pays the standard deposit, usually 30%, and that deposit immediately goes into a special secure account. It's called a Stichting Gelden account.
A Stichting Gelden. Okay,
Yeah.
What is that exactly? For listeners who haven't heard of it.
It's basically a type of third-party escrow foundation, legally independent. It's quite common in Dutch law for holding client funds securely. So the money isn't held by the platform itself, but by the separate legal entity. That gives maximum financial protection until the booking happens.
Got it. So the deposit is safe in this independent account. What about the flight cost then? How does that get paid?
As soon as that deposit is confirmed, the system just flows the client right into the next step, paying for the flight. So even though it's technically two payments, the deposit, then the flight, it's designed to feel like one smooth checkout journey for the client.
One process.
Yeah. And this gives certainty to both people.
Yeah.
Plus, both the courtesan and the client get real-time updates about the flight ticketing status right in their booking dashboards. No guessing.
Okay, so the tech handles the route, the privacy via stage names but verified IDs for airlines, and a smooth, secure two-part payment. This whole system feels like it's really built on trying to establish safety and trust. How does FMTY specifically work to prevent abuse and help in the fight against human trafficking? That's a serious concern.
Absolutely. And that's a core part of the design philosophy here. It really comes down to that stringent ID verification process we mentioned. Only ID-verified courtesans and ID-verified clients can use the platform at all. And if there's an agency involved, they also have to go through company ID verification. That's the baseline.
Right. Verification is the gatekeeper. And you mentioned the system uses stage names for agreements between people, but it always knows the real verified identities behind them. How does that balance work? Privacy versus compliance.
It's a really critical balance. On one hand, you have privacy for the members. They can use their stage name for their professional life, for safety. But on the other hand, this system holds the verified legal identities. This is crucial for regulators, for compliance, and for safety. Specifically as an anti-human trafficking measure, think about it. Only verified courtesans can travel using this system, and the flight is booked for them by MyBookXXX. This makes it incredibly difficult, almost impossible, for someone unverified to be booked overseas through the platform. It protects courtesans from potentially fake or dangerous bookings, protects clients from scams involving non-existent providers.
And it creates a clear trail.
Exactly. A clear trail of responsibility. It makes illicit activity much, much harder.
Okay, so verification is layer one. Are there other safeguards built into FMTY bookings? I think I read something about a blacklist integrate.
Yes, that's another really important layer, especially because travel is involved. If a client has been flagged previously, maybe for harassment, bad behavior, fraud, anything concerning, the system is designed to simply block them from making a Fly Me to You booking.
So if a client's got a red flag on their record within the system, they just can't use this specific feature.
Precisely. And MyBookXXX, as the source mentions, already works on sharing relevant blacklist data with organizations like UTOPI in Belgium, Proud in the Netherlands, others too, and the system's built to potentially integrate with even more external safety organizations down the line.
So the net gets wider.
Right.
Yeah.
The idea is that a potentially dangerous client could be stopped before they even book, no matter where they try to initiate it from, potentially.
Okay, this is painting a pretty comprehensive picture. But let's tackle some common questions people might have listening to this. For instance, just to be crystal clear, who actually pays for the flight ticket in an FMTY booking?
The client pays. It's part of that combined checkout flow we talked about, deposit first, then the flight cost. The courtesan doesn't have to put up any money up front for her travel.
Right. And that leads to the question, well, why doesn't the client just book the flight directly themselves? Wouldn't that seem simpler?
Yeah, it might seem simpler on the surface, but it goes straight back to that core issue, privacy and security. If the client booked directly, the courtesan's real name, her legal identity, would have to be given for the ticket, exposed to the client.
Ah, right.
By having MyBookXXX, the platform company, handle the actual transaction with the airline, that layer of privacy for the courtesan is kept intact while still being totally compliant for travel regs.
Okay. Makes sense. What if a courtesan needs to fly from a different airport sometimes? Maybe she's staying somewhere else temporarily. Can she change that home airport setting?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The courtesan controls that setting in her profile. She can set her main home airport, but she can update it whenever needed, so there's flexibility there.
Good to know. And the tricky one, what happens if a flight gets canceled or there's some other major disruption?
Yeah.
Does the courtesan lose the booking income? Does the client lose the money they paid for the flight?
That's where the secure deposit system comes in. Remember, the service deposit is safe in that Stichting Gulden account.
The escrow, right.
Right. So if a flight gets canceled by the airline, the client can simply rebook another flight through the system. The courtesan's deposit, her security for the booking time, remains protected. And the client's funds for the service are also safeguarded by that independent account until everything is sorted or the booking happens. The airline's refund policy would apply to the canceled flight ticket cost itself, handled via MyBookXXX.
Okay, so there are protections built in for those scenarios too. So let's pull it all together. Thinking about the bigger picture, how does a system like this, with all these checks and balances, really help in the fight against human trafficking?
It helps significantly because it builds barriers. Every single courtesan, every agency using it is rigorously ID verified. Flights are only booked for known, legal, consenting adults who've passed verification. The combination of verified identities, the company booking the flights, the stage name privacy, the secure payments, the blacklisting, All these safeguards working together make it incredibly difficult for someone to be trafficked, coerced, or kind of hidden within the system.
Right.
It replaces what could be a very opaque, risky, informal arrangement with something structured, trackable, and much more secure. It raises the bar significantly against exploitation on the platform.
This deep dives into Fly Me to You, it's really shown how technology, when applied thoughtfully, can genuinely build safety and trust. Even in areas where maybe, you wouldn't immediately expect it, it feels like more than just a booking feature. It's kind of a statement about making these interactions safer, smarter, and more respectful for everyone involved.
Absolutely. And if you connect it to the bigger picture, it really highlights how careful system design, focusing hard on verification, privacy, secure processes, can create really robust protections. It benefits everyone, ensuring compliance, enhancing security.
Yeah, you can see the different angles. For clients, there's a level of comfort and legitimacy. For courtesans, much needed security and privacy. For agencies, it adds professionalism. And for regulators, it offers a clear framework for compliance.
Which leads us to a final thought, maybe for you, the listener, to consider. What other areas out there may be traditionally seen as complex or high risk or operating in gray zones? Where could similar, thoughtful, tech-driven solutions bring more safety and trust?
That's a great question to ponder. In our next deep dive, we're actually going to explore more of the financial mechanics, specifically looking at payouts and diving deeper into how that Stichting account works to protect everyone's money through the whole cycle. So until then, stay curious, stay informed, and thanks for joining us on this deep dive.